into Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros on this episode of Girls Gone Book Clubbing. Get ready, we have a lot of questions.
So our favorite squad are now in their second year of school at Viscayas, and they are quickly realizing that Navarre as they know it has changed entirely. There isn't much time for lessons and teachings when you need to save the world and locate the most mysterious and unknown dragon. After many trials, the Flyers and Riders are united, but can they actually work together to bring down the enemies encroaching on their lands and bleeding the earth dry of magic? Venom have infiltrated the ranks of the college, and no one knows who can truly be trusted. Violet and her quest squad, coined by our most beloved Riddick, must take flight to try and locate the Irids as well as the armies to assist Navarre in taking down the Venom. But Navarre has turned its back on the rest of the world. Is the rest of the world going to do the same to them? Violet must do all of this while keeping the biggest secret she has yet. But secrets are hard to keep hidden in the midst of the storm.
Given Violet's utter rage at Xaden for keeping secrets, how do we feel about her keeping this huge Xaden is a Venom secret from her squad?
Okay, you guys know I 1,000 billion million % advocated for Xaden's secrets because it was like protecting the lives of other people. And I am in the same boat with this one.
I was hoping you'd say that because if you were not, I was gonna so be mad at you.
But
yes.
She had to do this. She knew that Xaden was able to control himself, and he wasn't a currently present issue towards Viscayas or her squad or her.
Yeah.
So it was a very need to know situation, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it was this huge secret that absolutely no one else knew. I mean, Garrick knows, Bodhi knows, Imogen knows. I think there might have even been a couple other people of the Marks ones that knew.
To help keep them safe.
Exactly. So they're all babysitting Xaden together. It didn't help the rest of her squad, Riddick and Sawyer and Jacinia and Reed, to know that he was Venom. I just don't think it was necessary. So because I gave him the benefit of the doubt, I'm definitely giving her the benefit of the doubt as well.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, the secret could get him killed. Are we supposed to say unalived? You know what I mean? I don't want to be canceled. We're just starting, you know what I mean? Okay, so it's definitely justified that she kept it from them, but I also see why they're upset. They are a close group. You're asking them to help search for the Irids for this reason, but you're not telling them. So I do see both sides to it, but completely it is absolutely justified. I just feel bad.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I can see her keeping a secret because she loves him and she knows that they would kill him. The wrong person finds out and he's dead.
And that's the love of her life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And not only that, but if he dies, she dies, and all the dragons die.
Exactly.
So she's kind of protecting herself.
Yeah.
But I loved when Riddick found out, and
he was so protective of her.
So everyone that knows would choose him. Someone needs to know that would choose you. People need to know that would choose you.
Right. And he's right.
He's the best
because he needs to be protected.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do think that Imogen and Garrick have her interests at heart too, but it's not the same.
Right.
Because they are loyal to him first and foremost.
Yeah.
They're going to always give him the chance to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Riddick so much.
I do too.
He's just so sweet.
I know.
So moving forward though, I do really need, in my head throughout the whole book, I said the Irids, but they're iridescents.
It's Irids, yes.
Irids. Okay, I didn't obviously get the graphic audio on this one.
I still listened to the audiobook because I wanted to know how to pronounce things. And I kept seeing clips saying you know, when you learn all these new names at the beginning of Onyx Storm, because Rebecca Yarros, you know, didn't talk about them before. So I was like, yeah, I should probably listen to it.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that, oh my gosh, no, it doesn't matter. But I have noticed.
I'm the queen of mispronouncing everything, so.
I have noticed between the graphic audio and the regular audiobook, they pronounce things differently. And I'm like, okay, this is why the same person for Xaden and the same person for Violet need to record both.
Yeah.
Because I just think I don't know. I love the narrator for the graphic audio for Violet and Xaden. So I wish I could have heard them.
I haven't listened to any of the graphic audios.
They're so good. They're so good.
My favorite voice was Liam.
Oh my gosh,
And now
stop. We
it's
can't
gone.
talk about him. We can't talk about him. Okay.
Okay. We see a lot of character development and growth throughout this book. So, who do you think grew the most, or maybe even whose growth did you like the most that we see?
Okay, so definitely Violet. She does not want to be a leader in any sense of the word, but she is a born leader and a great public speaker. I mean, she gets people to rally behind her, and I just definitely foresee her doing something with that. People are going to follow her in whatever she does, because look at her signet. She is one of the strongest writers. But also definitely Andarna. She's going through this adolescence and she doesn't have a family. So it's hard to be alone, the only one of your kind, while growing up like in these formative years. I also love that we see more of the relationship between Riddick and, is it Aotrim or Atrim?
Don't look at me.
I know.
I always kind of like.
I love that.
I don't
Okay.
know, like August,
Yeah.
but that's
Ultra
AU.
makes
I
me,
thought it was-
Ultra makes me think of a Transformer.
Oh yeah, that's true. I thought it was Atrim, but then, well, you know how when you watch like a reel or something and they like over pronounce things, and that's I think when I heard Aotrim and I was like, well, who is that? And then I realized, oh, there's one about Atrim. I think it's Atrim. I don't know. Anyway,
I think that's what I heard in the first 2 books.
Atrim.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there are a ton of secondary characters that you
Mhm.
get to see more of in this book, and I
Yeah.
do love, as much as I struggled with this book, I did love that fact.
Yeah.
Sawyer's probably one of my favorite secondary characters that grows in this
Yes.
book.
Yes.
Like,
Absolutely.
he goes from being devastated that he lost a leg and thinking that he'll
know.
never ride again
I know.
to writing and being
Like
a major part of the book.
I wanted to cry when he was like who is it, like the retired writers came to
Yeah.
see him. It's like, no.
And Andarna for the same reasons.
Yeah.
When she left, like, it hurt my heart.
Oh, I know.
And when
My
that bond
first
broke, I was like,
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to lay in bed for days.
I know. It was so sad.
And then Dane, I think he
Oh,
just continues
to
to
redeem
prove
himself.
himself.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to, but man.
Yeah.
Oh, he makes it hard
Yeah.
to not want to like him again.
And I want him and Saloon. I do.
Yes.
Just because it's that enemies to lovers little
Mhm.
little
Yes.
taste of that I love so much that
I think a big one from book 2 that we really didn't talk about was Imogen. She had a big character development.
and she still is
Yeah.
a very big part of book 3.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I really liked this book in the fact that we did see a ton of the secondary characters take on a more like upfront role
Mhm.
throughout this one. Like you said, Beth, I think Violet really had to buckle down in her saddle, literally, but also in life because she became the leader of this quest squad, and I will never call it anything other than quest squad.
I know.
But she has
I want
always
a damn patch for this.
I know.
Okay. She has always like balked the leadership and the rules and pushed to be heard by her superiors, but being the senior leader on this squad, she's now the superior.
Mhm.
So she's learning how to lead a team and every little detail that goes into making a decision. It's not just about, well, Andarna wants to do this now. It's, I have to think of what Andarna wants to do, what's best for her and Taryn, and then that bleeds into what's best for Xaden and Sigale, but then it also bleeds into the rest of my squad who's with me. Like, it's not just you get to fly off and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, we see that with Sawyer. He was very seriously injured, and now she's the one making these calls. And obviously, at the end of the book, we find out she's going to be making calls on an even bigger scale in book 4.
Well, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I feel like also leadership is probably not expecting much from her at this point. Her mom is gone,
And they hold her to such a high standard because of her
and
mom.
they expect
There's
her to fail.
Yeah, there's no way
Yes.
she can be Captain Soren.
Right. So I am very interested to see what comes of that,
I'm
because
excited
like
for
she
it.
has to stand on her own now.
Yeah.
I know that Kat is not anyone's favorite character, but I think we see a really big
Yes.
like change in her.
Mhm.
She's becoming more team oriented. She's becoming less sharp and just snotty. Like realistically, she's just becoming more of a teammate. And same with Mira. Mira is realizing that she's not always going to be the leader. Her dad leaving those books to Violet was like a real kick in the butt for her, I think. And I have a feeling we're going to see where stuff is just for her. But I think that like spurred a change in her character. And then my favorite was Riddick. He and Atrum have like this whole time have just like been these jokers and this comedic relief. But this whole book, he's saying, I have to be on this squad because Ree can't leave.
Mhm.
She's a wing leader,
Right.
or squad leader. Justinia can't go. She's a scribe.
Right.
Sawyer can't go because he's still learning how to fly with all the changes in his life.
Liam's dead.
And Liam's gone. And Xaden has to care for the Mark Twins. So you need someone from our squad to take care of you. And this is before he even knows that Xaden's a Venom.
Right.
So he pushes his way onto the squad. And then, like we talked about, he realizes that Xaden's the Venom. And then he takes a step up again. And like you all said, he tells Violet, like, you have to understand that no one in this circle is protecting you. You have to have someone for you, solely for you. And as funny as him and Atrum are, and all the like little giggles we see throughout the book, I just really think that he stepped into his flyer role with this, or rider role. Sorry, that would be very offensive to the writers of Gaia. And I just really liked that.
Just been.
I'd have been
Fired
fired
right there.
Don't get me. Just quit me with watery.
My favorite part of Riddick and Atrum is when they're on like the aisle waiting for they're like looking for the Irids, and then the Irids like come to them like right before when he gets so mad at Atrum, and he's like, Violet's like, what are you guys doing? And it's just a prank like between the two of them. It's just so funny.
I liked it when Atrum's like obviously roaring at Riddick, and Riddick's like, I don't understand what you're saying to me. Like, I don't get it. And they just keep screaming back and forth at each other. I can see that.
They can't understand each other. It's so funny. Yeah. So do you like that 99% of the books are in Violet's POV? Or would you like to see more of a dual POV? Or even chapters with the other writers or flyers POVs?
I put POV a lot in that sentence.
I was like, do I read it POV or do I say points of view? I just went with it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I would love to see more POVs.
I'm never gonna look at this and say it.
I think if we had a Riddick chapter, it would be hilarious.
Yes.
I hope.
It would be fantastic.
Yes.
I think if we had a oh crap, who got broccoli?
The
Garrett.
No,
No,
it wasn't
no.
Eric. It was Kat's cousin, relative. You know who
Yeah,
I'm talking
Drake.
about?
Drake and Broccoli.
That's right.
Drake and broccoli need a chapter.
Drake and Broccoli needs his own chapter. Just,
Broccoli
you know,
better be in book 4 because we got like 2 lines of him. We found him, and then Mira took him.
Yeah.
Like,
And
because
that
he
was
needed.
it.
Yeah.
before I started this book, I saw all these memes. Broccoli's the real main character. Broccoli's the
I
realest
know.
one. Broccoli's a writer.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw Broccoli twice.
Yeah. It's a big letdown.
I'm like,
Literally
this is
within
super
like 10
disappointing.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all in one chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I do like at the end of Onyx Storm during the war, the battle, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
The different point of views were used to tell you what was happening. It was all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
But you were learning what was happening with like her squad, and you were learning what was happening with Violet, and you were learning that Xaden was missing, like nowhere to be found. And like you were absorbing all of this information, even though it was all happening at once. So I liked how that was used.
And I'll be honest, I was working on this outline while I was reading it. So this is one of those questions I actually did before I even finished the book and got to those chapters.
Well, you don't get much.
So, no, it's very small.
Right.
I was really excited. Honestly, I guess I could have done without Ree's chapter. I mean, it gave you like some insight into her
Hers
brain.
kind of.
I wonder
they
though
all
if
kind of
it's
stressed me out, but hers stressed me out the most because I was like, let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
You know?
But I wonder if it's going to lead to something. I wonder because
Which
you kind
maybe.
of like that just kind of leaves off. Like
Yeah. Like, I would have, personally, I guess, I really liked the Imogen's chapter. I read a couple reviews that were like, that was, her chapter was unnecessary. I don't think it was, because we saw Imogen as a person.
yeah,
She wasn't just this sassy
and you learn the
cohort.
Oh
right?
my gosh, that was
Yeah.
heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
So I think we needed that, absolutely. And
Because
then
Quinn was her best friend, right?
yeah. And you don't really realize how close they are.
Mhm.
I don't guess.
Yeah,
until
like
this.
almost, I mean, sisters.
Yeah.
I was super confused in that chapter too because it's like it almost sounds like Imogen is channeling because it talks about like the bricks around them and
But we don't know her second signet, right?
yeah. Well, we
Her
find
first
out
one's
that
memory
don't we?
wiping.
Is that her first signet?
Yeah, because she jokes about it being kind of classified.
Oh.
Yeah, she can erase like.
Up to 12 hours,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay, because she did that with Jack Barlow.
But I
when they
want
were.
to find. I want to think that we find out that she has some kind of like stone. I might be wrong. I might be pulling that out of my butt.
You know how last time I was like, I don't know why I thought like all of the marked ones had second signets. Pretty sure they do. Pretty sure every single one of them does.
Yeah.
and
I was right.
I was on to
Yeah.
something with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would really want to see. I really wanted a Garrick one, but I think because he comes in at the end of Imogen's, that's why that wasn't done.
Probably.
Mm.
Because like he gets them both out. I really want a dragon one. I really want a Taryn. POV.
It would just be him grumbling the whole time.
And I would eat up every minute of it.
I
These
know.
Stupid humans.
It would be so good.
Yeah.
But I did like seeing some different stuff in this. I thought it was fun.
So I definitely want a dual point of view because I foresee us not seeing a lot of Zayden in
If
book
we
4
don't, yeah.
if we don't, because he's away. He is gone. But at the end of Onyx Storm, I was too anxious to listen to all these different point of views because I was stressed out about everything that was happening. And I was like, no, we need to go back. We need to go back. So that stressed me out a little bit. So maybe if it's like not at the height of like the end of the book, that was too stressful for me.
The total tension.
Oh my gosh, yes. So it just kind of made it hard to get through. And it was like 2:00 in the morning. And I was like, I just want to finish, you know. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. And maybe if we had them earlier, I would not feel that way. It's just like all the excitement at the end of the book. So it kind of drug it out for me a little bit. I don't know.
It was kind of overwhelming.
Yeah. I was like, really?
I get that.
Now?
And you like left off with Violet and like
Mm-hmm.
this crazy part, and then you're like, oh, what's going on over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
know.
It's stressful. Was Onyx Storm an easy read for you, or did you find it difficult?
I found this book very, very hard to get into. And it's not because it's a bad book, and it's not because it's a slow book. I don't know if it was the fact that I did start it so much later after, you know, like the fandom had almost already worn off because everybody got it the 21st and read it the 22nd. And I didn't start it until like 4 days ago. So I don't know if I just was like seeing all these spoilers and it was like, oh, my heart's broken. What an ending. I don't know what I'm ever going to do the rest of my life for the next 2 years. So I don't know if I just like
Dreaded it.
I was like,
finishing it?
was
Yeah.
nervous about finishing it. I don't know if it was. I felt very inundated with information.
Oh, yeah.
And
all these, like,
over throughout this book.
All these people that you didn't see in the last one.
I know. I have like this
Yeah.
little key of like everyone's names and their dragons' names and their signets because I couldn't keep up with any of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
felt
in
very
this one,
overwhelmed.
and then I forgot about it. But in this one, they like added a
At least they did the
page.
squad breakdown.
Yes.
That was
Oh
cool.
yeah, that was
Imogen,
the Kindle one. Yeah.
Blaine, memory erasing, like what their signets were. So that was pretty cool.
So yeah, I did have a hard time with this book, and at the end I was very, very confused, and I don't know if it's just because I was so ready to be done that I was like rushing
Right.
through it.
I know.
Again, all that to say, I still loved the book. I was having a really hard time with it.
I feel like it's a book that you either have to read like multiple times to get it, or you aren't going to get it until the next book.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I had a hard time wanting to read it because we won't get another one for so long. I mean, over 2 years. So I didn't want the story to end. So I just didn't want to start it. I tried to put it off as long as I could for that reason. I knew we would all be confused and mad and sad, and I didn't want to go through that since we don't know how long we'll be waiting.
I found it difficult to read. I swear, by the end of the first chapter, I was confused, and I remained confused for the entirety of the book.
Yeah, I mean, I've never tabbed a book so much. I've never taken so many internal notes in a book.
Yeah.
My book is she's spliced up. She's sticky all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, she goes scribbles and margins, she goes scribble on stickiness, she goes scribbles on tabbies, tabbies on top of tabbies pointing different ways.
It was like when I was in respiratory school, and the whole 2 years I had no freaking idea what was going on. And then I graduated and I started working, and I was like, oh, okay. All right.
I can do this.
I can do this.
I hope it's like that when we get book 4, that we're just like,
Yeah.
all right, we're good. We got that.
Yeah.
yeah, it was tough. So we very thoroughly discussed Violet's potential second signet last podcast. And now that we know, are you surprised, or did you have any idea regarding this development?
So I assumed that the sage was just giving them the same dream. Obviously, it makes sense now that we know what was happening. But ever since, is it Marin that is Kat's friend? Ever since we saw her in Marin's dream, and I guess it's Marin telling Kat, he'll pick you. I can't get it out of my head, and now I'm worried.
I'm going to have to go back and reread that, because my answer is pretty much the exact same thing. Like, it was one of my guesses that was her second signet, but I also thought that it was the sage's power, not hers.
Yeah, I know you guys gave me hope for it.
So,
Give you hope for what?
Saying that it was the dream.
You just said, I don't know.
but
That's exactly what you said. I don't know. I
You
don't
can
know what
text
it is.
Amber about
I
it.
have no guesses.
when I was reading the dream that Violet was in, that Violet thought it was...
Someone did.
It wasn't me.
Oh, we're back in our receipts.
Shut up. Anyway, go on.
I'm confused on what's happening.
Continue.
When Violet was in Marin's dream, when she was in it, I didn't realize it was even her. I thought it was Violet's dream.
Right. Well, yeah, because the first time she has it, it looks like it's Violet's dream. And then the second time, she realizes she's not in her own dream. She's in Marin's. And
I should have went back and read the dream.
I cannot get it out of my head now. Like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But they're married now. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, but who was she talking about? Maybe she wasn't even talking about Zeta. Maybe she was talking about someone else.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in the dream. She said, you are going to be, you're like the Duchess.
Oh.
I don't remember this dream at all.
What?
The dream I remember is her getting the family photo.
That's the dream. That's
Yeah.
the Marin dream.
Yeah. She sees the family photo in the second one.
I thought it was all one dream, but it was like different parts of the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely have to reread that, because I did not pick that bit up, I guess. I mean, I picked up, her getting the family picture and then her asking Marin, do you have a picture of your family? Like, I understand all that, but I guess I read over that.
I am 99% sure that she
I remember
Kat,
that part of the dream, but I just it didn't click for me that
I am
like
stressed.
they were talking to Marin. Like, I don't know.
Anyway, someone told Kat he's going to pick you to be the Duchess, basically. And I am so stressed about it. I can't stop thinking about it. Anyway.
Well, too late now. They're married.
I think so. Yes,
But
I know.
I also think that Violet's second signet is going to grow to the point that she can manipulate people in their dreams, and when they wake up, they'll do what she wants them to do. And I think that she will be able to harm and kill people within their dreams. Because Rebecca even said, like, in this book, you only see like 10%
right.
second signet
So
power.
It's still only 80% of her other one. Yeah. Well, I don't want to say I said it, but I did. And my friend Brittany can attest to the fact. I messaged her January 27th at 10:35 p.m. when I finished IronFlame, and I said, Violet's second signet is dreamwalking.
Well, we don't know Brittany, so.
I quit.
Shut up. Is that why last
Get out of my parents' house!
Is that why last time you were like, I don't know?
Yeah, it
You
was.
just didn't want to give any of it away?
It wasn't you guys. Someone gave me a hard time, and I don't remember who it was. But they were like, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, fine, I'm stupid.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
I love you too much.
I know you do.
I did go back to our IronFlame podcast though and listen to your answer to this, and you did not say that during our
Because I
IronFlame
was
podcast.
embarrassed about it because who the heck would that have been?
I
I don't even remember. I want to say it was someone I was texting, and they were like, "That doesn't make sense, Sheelin." And I was like,
Who would you be texting about it besides Brittany?
"I know." And Brittany didn't say it because when I messaged her and I said, "OMG, I called her signet," she was like, "Girl, I had such a hard time not being like, WTF? Do you know that you already called it and you haven't even started the third book yet?"
Which she didn't know until book 3, right?
Yeah, she had no idea.
That's what I thought you had said.
Yeah.
That like when you figure out what it is.
Yeah, she said you won't be able to guess it. And then I messaged her. And I
Which
guessed it.
my friend Claire was like, "Oh, once you find out what it is, you'll be like, how did I not pick up on that?"
I mean, it totally makes sense.
Oh,
And, like,
absolutely it
the
does.
population was like 50-50 on, oh, I totally saw it coming
Mhm.
because I knew that was weird.
Right.
And then other people were like, I literally just thought the
Yeah.
sage was
Yeah.
funneling them dreams because he knew one of them was gonna become Bennett.
It was
right?
one of my guesses, but let's be fair, I guessed like 5 different things. So
See,
one of them had to be close.
I tried not to guess. And I do that. I try not to guess what's going to happen because I want to be surprised. I don't want to read too much into things. Like, I do not think I am an insightful person whatsoever. And I think it's by choice because I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I hate it when, okay, if I watch something with my mother, I'm sorry, Mom, I love you. I cannot watch something with her because she'll be like, well, this is going to happen, isn't it? And I'm like, shut up. I don't know. I want to be surprised.
Tyler can't
Nate does
watch
it
mysteries
too.
with me anymore. Nate and I will watch movies together.
Yes.
Because Tyler gets so mad. He's like, will you just shut up?
I-
First off, you're talking. Second off, I don't want to know what happens in the movie until it happens in the movie.
I sometimes think that Sheelin is more compatible with Nate than I am because
We
Nate,
would hate each other.
Nate is very, I don't want to stay home. I want to leave the house. And I'm like, I never want to leave the house. I've already put my comfy clothes on.
Oh,
You
me
know,
too. If
and
I
I
get
do
home,
it-
I'm staying home.
Yes.
Took me a lot to drag myself out of the house today.
And then
I could
Sheelin
go
will
home
text
and leave the
me.
house
I
immediately.
know. And Sheelin will text me and be like,
No.
I need to get out of the house. And I'm like, fine, let's
I'm an
go.
extrovert in the truest sense of
But
the
I
word.
need that. I do
mean,
need that as a person.
I'm an extrovert when I get out of the house.
Yeah, I can be.
Like, I'll talk to anyone. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Especially if I have a few beers in me, and then I make friends with literally everyone that I meet. But
Girls in the bathroom are the nicest people in the world.
they always hype you up.
Oh.
Always.
Yeah.
You're always wearing the best jewelry, or your makeup's slaying, or that's the best skirt they've ever seen on a body ever in
Yes.
the world of the history of life
Yes.
as we know it.
Good times.
Maybe that's just me talking to myself.
Okay, so Andarna continues to grow in power and personality. So what did you think of her development in this book, and how do you think she'll influence the story moving forward?
I have always loved Andarna. She's always been one of my favorite characters in the series. And I continue to love her. I hate her family.
The Irids.
She calls them family, but
I mean,
like not.
technically they are. They're who she came from.
But no one ever claims that they have a child. Like, even Leothon
No.
is like, well, we would have been in the same den. Okay, well, whose
Yes.
spawn is she?
Yeah.
Well, she wouldn't be because she waited to hatch for 600 years. So
But
the
someone had to
people, or the
that
I'm
egg
sorry,
out.
yeah, but they're probably dead. It's been 600 years, and their lifespan is what, 200? Because
But wasn't
Taryn talks about being middle-aged.
And he's 100.
100.
Yes.
So, yeah, I guess.
so her parents are gone.
so none of the
And any of her
dragons
siblings-
that fought in the big war are alive?
No. Just the ones from the Revolution, which are the ones choosing the marked ones. And apparently giving fake names, according to Rebecca.
I don't.
Okay. Anyway. I hated her.
Irids, yeah.
First off, the way that they. Okay, so you're going to be our test subject. We're going to leave you all by yourself for 600 years just to see. Just to see what happens.
Were they checking up on her? Like, she's still an egg.
No, I don't think so.
How did they know she hadn't already hatched and died?
And then...
Been alive.
And then, after abandoning you, they come and they're like, oh, hey, what up? I'm going to judge you now.
Yeah.
You failed. F you. Goodbye.
Yeah. By the people that raised you.
Yeah. You picked yourself to be black.
And
yes, it's the best color.
You picked that weapon as a tail. Like, she's going to adapt to the environment that she's in.
She didn't know that she could still be a feather tail. And
Taryn is her hero.
So, I hate them.
I know. I do too.
Like, I don't care if they save them in the end. I hate them. And I hated when she left Violet. That bond breaking, it broke
so
a part
sad.
of me.
Yes.
But I also hated how she came back.
Yeah.
I feel like
so random.
It was way too fast.
Yeah.
And it wasn't built up at all.
Well, and she's gonna leave again, right?
Like they were like, oh, she's gone. This sucks. I'm gonna stay in bed for 3 days. Okay, now I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna fight. It'll be fine. She's gone, but it'll be fine. And then, oh, there she is.
Yeah. What was all that mourning for?
Like, and it was like not even a month later. Like, I don't know.
And the way Leothon was like, you really didn't even bond with her because Taryn bonded her first. So like, I just like the whole thing was so over dramatized and under dramatized at the same time.
Yes.
Like
you're
Leothon's
gonna downplay
like
her bond.
Yeah.
With Violet,
and then you're gonna break it.
Yeah.
And now Violet can't move.
But then she still has the power. She still has Darna's power when their bond is broken.
So I asked somebody, and they said they think that she never actually broke the bond. She just like smothered it temporarily.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like how it was handled.
No. I love that she was still her little sassy self, and like you said, Amber, I don't think it was fair. The Irids literally dropped her little egg into a random den, and they were like, good luck. Make it work. We're giving you 0 information about yourself. You know nothing.
You were the only one here.
Yeah.
But choose correctly.
Yeah. And when you don't, we're not going to let you come home.
And you know nothing about us or what we even value.
Yeah. Where we live. Where we're from.
What we're supposed to look like.
It was just, I did not like it.
Outraged on her behalf.
I know.
And when Leothon comes in and like, I guess I never thought that it was Darna breaking the bond. I thought it was Leothon breaking the bond, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Darna.
Because she told her, just break it, right?
And then I don't even like that at all because she just does it and then takes off after him. Like, all right, let's go. Zip whistle out.
See, I thought Leothon did it too.
That was my thought, but I don't know.
I don't either.
And like you said, just all of this happening in less than like a month, and she's gone, and now she's back, and then we don't even see her at the end of the book. It was just weird, and I have so many notes that make 0 sense because I just don't understand it.
Well, I feel, guys, I cannot English today. I still think that no matter what happens, if she leaves again, she's still going to be tethered to Violet, no matter what. I still have hope that she and the Irids. What?
We both like said our
we took a drink and we didn't want it to rattle, so we were like,
so you were laughing at me, and I was like,
no,
that's a good thing to say.
It was a very good thing.
Okay, but I still have hope that her and the Irids are the key to finding the cure for being Venom. But I was very worried that after the Irids rejected her, that she would stay like shut down, and it made me so angry for her at them because how she was treated. Like, she just wanted to find her family.
Yep.
And so I was glad that they came back to help her raise the wards, even though they forced her to leave. At least they like tried to make sure but they were okay. But I also kind of think that it was like not a trap, but like well, we did this for you. You can at least come with us now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and
we did you a favor. It's time for you to choose
time to
us.
come home.
Yeah.
It was so hard for me. It really was. I keep telling myself, well, it's because she wants answers. It's because she wants answers. She didn't leave because she wanted to. She left because she wants answers.
I know.
But how did you find answers in like 2 weeks? Ugh, I don't know. It's just stressful.
I know.
I'm trying to look because like that was one of my favorite quotes. And I don't know where it's at.
I do have a question. How did they know that she existed if she was left 600 years ago?
They had to just been like passed down around the campfire.
Oh, here it is.
Around the burning breath fire.
It was, I think it was right after she came back. So it was during like the fighting. And Andarna says something. I don't know. But she's like feeling bad about herself essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And Violet's like, you don't need to be anything but who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, clearly we need to have a conversation when we're not in the middle of a battlefield. You always say that you chose me, but I stood in front of you in the thrashing field and I would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Like she chose to save her life.
yeah.
Anyway.
Was it me?
Yeah.
The series is known for its high stakes action and emotional intensity. What is the most shocking or unforgettable moment for you in Onyx Storm?
It was definitely for me the bond breaking between Andarna and Violet. I would have been less surprised if someone else died. I just did not think that was an option.
Yeah, I mean, we really didn't know that was an option. We didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, so like it really just threw me for a loop. I don't like it still.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they could break the bond and like both of them still survive.
Yeah.
But
that was another thing that hurt. Sorry, that was
okay.
another thing that her what was his name? Leathon was like.
I almost put that in the notes. I was like, no.
Anyway,
I'm peaceful.
yeah.
That would have been punny.
He's like, well, you can just break your bond because she is Terran, so she won't die.
Yeah, and he's like, you can do whatever you want. We're the Irids. Tail slash.
Mm-hmm.
He was a cocky little SOB.
Oh, absolutely. This one was a hard one for me to answer because I felt like there were a lot of things in the book that I was like, are you kidding me? But I think the biggest thing was Panchek being a freaking traitor.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder Varys was the way that he was. Panchek was his freaking boss. Panchek's the commandant. Varys was the vice commandant. He learned how to be a piece of actual crap from his boss. It just makes me so mad. And then when he tells the sage, I'm the only one with access to your son, and he's like, I have another son. Anyway, I have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, I don't even.
We just can't even get into
it.
There's just
I don't
too
know.
much. I know.
Too many interchangeable terms.
Yeah.
For things that don't even matter.
Also, when they went to Dune and her realizing that one girl had hair exactly like hers and everyone had silver hair.
And it like means you've been touched by the goddess or something, right?
Yes. And that is forbidden now, right?
Yes. You can't do it to your babies.
Yes.
They have to be of age.
Right.
Yeah. We assume it's 18. But yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. I have a few. The cake scene with Garrick.
That was awful.
I felt like my stomach was like in my butt the entire time I was reading that section.
And like obviously they're like trying to save his life. And then we think that Riddick is gonna die. That was probably like
he's like, you tore my jacket. It's the only one I have, and I hate sewing.
It was funny.
I take it back.
I did
that
like
that was probably the moment that I was like, I'm gonna die because she's killing Riddick.
Yep. Like, you can't kill Riddick after you freaking killed Liam. I'm sorry, Rebecca. If you do it,
I won't finish the series.
We'll be on bad terms, girl. The I hate sewing one was one. Is it
Traeger, yeah.
Traeger? When he gets killed, I just didn't expect it. Like, I went through the whole book expecting someone on the squad, other than the beginning where Grady and the chick die. I don't remember her name. The fire chick that burnt down the whole city.
Oh, shoot. What was her name? She was
S.
obviously very memorable.
Yeah. So obviously they died, but that happened at the very beginning of this book, I feel like. And they weren't people that we knew and grew attachments to.
Right.
So on the second half of the squad, I knew someone was going to die. But like to die like that, and he just like turned around and like, boom, arrow, dead.
And they couldn't even react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kat like was forming a relationship with him, and she just deserved that.
I know, like finally she was moving on.
Growing as a person.
Yeah.
And then Zayden's like, Violet.
I'm so sorry. My parents' cats are so needy.
Wait, I thought there was only one.
Broccoli!
Two.
I got ahead of myself.
It's okay.
But I will say the oddest part of this book that hit me hard, and I actually teared up a little bit, was when they were all getting together after Theophany. How do you say it?
Theophany.
Theophany.
Yeah.
What a effing weird name.
It's like, not your language.
It couldn't be Stephanie.
I know. Well, of course not.
Lily.
But she gives Garrick her message, whatever. But they're all like in that battle briefing, getting ready to leave, and one of the leadership is like, cadets can't go. And freaking here comes Violet's squad, strapped, packed, ready to go, like without question, and it like I teared up a little bit because I like in my head I was like, they will always have her back.
I know.
And like it just made my heart happy to read that.
It's like the action scenes in all these movies where they go into like this secret gun room, and then all of a sudden they have on like 40 different weapon slots and holsters, and they're like, oh, gotta get the armor, and then they just walk out, and it's like, where's the vehicle? And their vehicles are dead.
Yep. And Zayden's like, the cadets can go, it's voluntary, and they like start to fight, and he's like, you wanted me in power, this is me telling you what's happening. You wanted me to sit in that seat, I'm in the seat. And her squad's like, all of them were just like, I'm going.
I know.
And it just made me happy.
Yeah.
So another thing we talked about a lot last pod was Arik.
Damn.
But we see a lot more of him in book 3. And then we don't see a lot of him in book 3.
He sees a lot of everything.
So what did you think of him? I know we all had some questions last time. We see him step into his princely role, but we also find out his signet. What did you feel about that?
So what's his brother's name? Hardin? I don't remember. Maybe.
Halden,
that's it. And then it's Cam. Like, that's his given name. Holden and Cam.
What was the other brother's name? What was Holden's twin brother's name? Do we remember that?
That died, right? Yeah. But Zayden killed him, right?
I have theories about that, but yeah.
I don't know that we're ever told, are we?
I don't know either. I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Anyway, I thought it was hilarious when, when Holden was on their squad to begin with, and he had to be carried in a basket.
There are so many memes and reels about this that crack me up.
And Kat's uncle is that, and he's like, you can't carry the prince in a basket. He can't show up in that. It was just so funny. Anyway, but Arik, I love him. I think he is going to be very instrumental in helping the revolution because he is mad at his family. And, of course, he has an amazing signet.
His name's not just Cam.
Well, you know what I mean.
Well, no, we just were, laughing about it, and I didn't know, so I had to look it up.
What is it?
Camlain?
Oh.
Camlaen.
Camlain?
Camlain?
Prince Cambion.
Probably.
That's pretty official.
Yeah, that sounds like good. And, we weren't sure about him last time, but now I'm like, nope, pretty sure he is with the squad. Like, has their back. I don't think he's going to betray them. at this
I
point.
agree.
I would
Yeah.
be shocked if he
I
did.
agree.
I don't think he's Venom either.
Yeah.
So there
So
was Alec.
oh, that's right. And of course he has an amazing
I thought-
signet. He's freaking royalty.
So he picked a name that was almost the exact same as his dead brother,
Auric's middle name. Camlian Auric Greycastle.
and his other brother's name was Alec.
Alic.
Yeah.
Freak is wrong with these people.
I do love that, like, they tossed Holden aside, and that's how Auric shows up.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just a little prissy. baby.
yeah, like, nope, I'm on the squad now. Yeah, after he like screwed things up for them, he
So royally.
absolutely deserved to be
And then
thrown out.
there's this head on a platter, and he's like,
I know. And his like, was it like his assistant or something?
it was his bodyguard. It was
Yeah,
His girlfriend.
yeah.
'Cause she was in. Well, I don't know if they were actually girlfriend, but she liked him. He
Yeah.
got her
They were probably banging.
unalived.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by his signet. I knew it would be a powerful one, but I was
Mhm.
wrong. Like, I didn't think that's what it was going to be.
I was worried because it wouldn't show up, and I thought they were gonna like throw him out or something.
So he
Yeah.
exploded.
But
Yeah.
it's led to believe that it manifested, and he just didn't ever tell anyone.
Yeah, because he didn't understand it at first or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And he needs to be careful, because if like leadership finds out, he'll be not alive. But
Yeah, because it's a form of intrinsic, right?
Yeah.
yes. But I also think that I think he'll end up being king. I think he'll be the first Rider King.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
Because Holden's not gonna last.
no.
I
And I
foresee
think the
him
king will
next
die.
book.
I think the king will
Yeah.
die. Or
Yeah.
we'll find out that the king is evil and they'll kill him.
Right.
Yeah. Either way, he's not making it out.
Yeah. But I love to see like the royal side of him too, like all the languages that he spoke and how diplomatic he was to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like I feel like he just grew so much as a character within this.
And
book.
he wasn't arrogant at all.
No.
That's what I was just
You
thinking.
know?
Holden's like, I'm the prince. I'm doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And Violet's like, wait, Auric, you just spoke 10 different languages in 5
Mhm.
minutes.
Like, why
What's
did
happening?
Where you
And-
been, bro?
What do you think I was doing in my prince duties?
well, and she was like, why didn't you tell us? Well, you never asked.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna offer.
I know.
But I
He's just not
do.
cocky.
At the end of the book, I did wonder though, did he trade dragon eggs for the dagger from Doom? Because that's
I-
what they wanted.
I have a theory about that when we get there.
I'm still just confused about it. We'll get there in a little bit.
Because he could have saw into the future if it was worth the risk.
Well, now I did think that his signet was going to be what oh my gosh, it just left me.
Wait, we don't get there, so we have to talk about it right now if we want to talk about this.
Well, I'm saying I have a comment later
Okay.
about it. But oh my gosh, the other black dragon. Who's his rider?
Milgren.
I thought it was going to be the signet Milgren has.
Oh,
That he could
the ability to
see-
see.
I mean, I guess he
Yeah.
can see outcomes because he can see the future.
Right.
Can he see whatever
Right.
future he wants? Like,
I don't know.
we don't know how this works.
Yeah,
Does he just like think of something and be like, that's
I don't know.
Yeah, or does it come to him when he's not expecting it?
Yeah.
And I have another question that kind of, I don't know when else we would talk about it, so I'm just going to bring it up
No,
now.
that's fine.
It says something about, it's kind of like a prophecy where like when the 6 strongest signets are on the earth,
Yes.
they'll win or whatever. Peace will reign or whatever.
Forgot that happens.
What is that?
It's the clock, and
Oh.
it's going to start spinning around in circles, and you're not going to be able to see the numbers.
That looks like
It's-
something from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Anyway, what do you guys think the 6 strongest signets are?
Obviously, Zayden.
The
So
shadows,
we
I
know
think.
we know shadows and lightning helped
Yes.
win the last war.
I think the seeing the future.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'll be one.
So it's half of them.
Yes.
And then I think Garrick's far distance is one, or walking distance.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be one of them.
Is that his second signet or his main signet?
Let me reference my notes.
Because isn't that the one that's like
His distance.
She didn't even know because it was
I
like
think that's
not
the
talked
second.
about.
His
Yeah.
distance ruling is the only one I have written down.
Oh, okay. Because she didn't know, and she asked, and
which it was kind of kept hush hush too.
Yes.
Which I don't.
That's why I thought
why.
either it was classified or it's his second signet. So I didn't know. Anyway.
But I just wonder what else. Like I think, which they talk about Melgreen's.
Oh,
being
Sloan.
He's a tracker.
A
That's
siphon?
the one people know about.
A tracker. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I think Sloan is one of the 6.
Yeah. So it would be a siphon, lightning, shadows, distance.
I think you have to count Mira though. She builds wards.
Yeah.
She is a ward.
That would be all 6 then.
But obviously, we're just
I just
thinking out loud.
Yeah.
But
we know 2 of
Yeah.
them for sure, lightning and shadows.
Yeah.
Which there's that other kid that develops the shadow signet too.
The ground thinks it's losing. The world thinks it's losing Zayden's power.
Wonder what will happen
So
if
many
Zayden
questions.
gets cured. Will that kid loses?
I don't know.
You
But,
lost
like,
the right to your
they-
power.
So I know that the signets are based on the writers themselves. Or it's more about the writer than it is the dragon. But if, like, so they think Zayden is losing his power. The earth thinks it's losing his power, right? So the earth knows what signets are needed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It keeps the balance.
Yeah, right. Right.
So I literally had zero idea what I even thought Arc's signet would be. I feel like we're way past that at this point. But I did like seeing him grow into his royal role, and like now he's playing the game on both sides.
Like
And-
I just think that like you're right. He's going to be the king. Violet's going to be the duchess. They're going to work
Yeah, they're
together
gonna work
really well,
together.
and they don't like want to be leaders, but they are born leaders.
Yeah, and I think that's why he has to be one of the 6 because
Mhm.
he's going to be the king.
right.
Like
Yeah.
they have to have that leadership role.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing about like the dagger and the eggs and killing Theophany, are we sure that he got the dagger? Like I went back and read it, and my understanding is that he just got it from a priestess of Dune. But there's temples to Dune with priestesses on every major isle. So are we confident that he got it from the Isle of Dune who asked for eggs? Because I don't see him giving up eggs. How would he even get
I
them?
don't think that's what happened with the eggs.
I don't know.
I have questions.
We know
Yeah.
nothing about it. We just know that here's a dagger that will
Yeah.
save you.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. So that ending, who do you think the brother is? And back up your claim.
We've talked about this a lot already, and I feel like we just keep going in circles.
Yeah, my answer to this is like a paragraph long, so bear with me.
We haven't talked about the brother yet.
Like we have talked about it outside of this
yeah,
podcast
right,
specifically.
right.
Yeah.
I was so confused at the ending of this book. I didn't know what way was up. I didn't know what was happening, where it was happening, who it was happening with.
Mm-hmm.
Zayden tells what
Segale.
Segale, I never remember how to pronounce her name either, that someone owes him a favor. What does that mean? Who owes him a favor? Who's doing this favor? What do they do? What is the favor?
Where do we hear that?
After he frees, he does the shadow blast thing. He frees Segale from the net, and Segale turns to him and is like, well, "You're really effed up now," essentially. And he says, "Violet." He says something about Violet will have to forgive him, and he knows someone that owes him a favor.
Oh yeah. Because he used the power again.
Yeah.
I was
So,
like,
is it like
trying not to
Dune?
fall
Because
asleep during
they-
that part.
Is it because is that how they get married? I don't know. I was so confused by that. Oh, and he says Violet's decision will determine his fate. Violet's decision to marry him? I don't know. Does anyone know? Rebecca, do you know?
I'm sure she does. But also, one of the videos that I was watching was like she had a completely different plot written, and then she wrote too much, so she had to shorten, and it changed the plot. So I don't even know if she knows.
Maybe that's why there's a 2-year hiatus, because she doesn't even know if she's finishing this.
She's like, what is
It's like,
happening?
oh crap.
And then at the end, when Violet shows up back at Zayden's house, and Brennan says 5 people have been missing since the battle. So Violet and Imogen, who just showed up, are 2.
Yes.
We know Zayden and Garrick are together, so that's
Yes.
4. Who's the 5th person?
Who do you think it is?
Brennan.
No, Brennan is the one that
not
asked the
Brennan.
question.
Duh.
It has
Come
to
on.
be
Bodhi.
Bodhi.
It's
Yes.
gotta be Bodhi. It absolutely is based off my answer.
But we don't know if Bodhi's there or not.
But he's missing.
We don't know that he's one of them that's missing.
It's just not mentioned that he's there.
But it's not mentioned that he's missing either.
Is it mentioned that Kat's there?
No.
I don't think she has anything to do with it.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
that's my guess.
The whole dream, though, about you'll be the Duchess.
Oh, that gives me anxiety. I
wonder
can't
if she'll be
talk
the.
about it.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. I'll just.
Oh, don't
Roll
stress
that-
me out.
roll
Yeah,
that
But
back in.
that could be the Duchess of whoever her uncle is, right? Or is he part of Tyrandor?
He's the king now, right? Of something.
Because who is she? His aunt died,
Yes, got killed by the venom.
and so he is now whatever. Was she a queen? Queen Mariah.
Yes, so he's the king.
So he is the king.
He's not the big king, but he's a king.
right yeah,
So, I mean, maybe that's what they're referring to.
of Palomia.
Colonial.
Paromial. I'm so close.
Kat will be the Duchess of
Hear me out. So I've always said that
Oh, maybe you're right.
I think this book is going to have a divergent ending.
I can't talk about that either.
What if Violet dies and Zayden marries Kat after Violet?
I can't talk about it. No,
And that's how she becomes Duchess.
I do not think so, though, because, as I have said, Rebecca repeatedly
Said that they're in.
says they are endgame.
In the game, if Violet dies, yeah, her
Shut.
game's ended. No, I don't think that's
I'm deleting this from the podcast. I don't believe in this nonsense.
I'm gonna
I
smack
don't-
you upside the head.
I 100% don't believe that either, but I was just throwing it out there.
I'm just, I'm stressed. So maybe that's what she means when she says he will pick you. You will be the Duchess. She means because her uncle is now the king, she might be the Duchess of Permiel.
Maybe.
Or Meal, whatever.
That would make her a
And
princess,
she'd
right?
be I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know how titles work over there.
I don't either.
All right,
Well,
back to answering the question.
but there's I'm sorry, I need to sit back to answering the question. But like, you have the King and Queen of England, the Prince and the Princess, and then the Duke and Duchess. Anyway, go on.
See, it could happen.
Which
And it's like their cousin or something, right?
we know.
I don't know.
I don't either. I have no freaking idea what the brother comment is even about. I was so confused when we talked about this off the air. I didn't even catch any of it. I don't know. I missed the whole brother thing. Or I didn't link it, maybe, I guess. But if we're talking about someone in their inner circle being a Venin,
Mm-hmm.
and the brother comment, it
Mhm.
makes me think of Brennan. Maybe they're not talking about Zayden's brother. Maybe they're talking about Violet's brother.
Which I see that theory making sense. I just don't think that's it. But it makes sense because he says, you've watched me fight this for months.
And Brennan didn't know.
But he knew before most people did.
He did, yes. He knew before
He knew after Garrick,
Bodhi,
Bodhi, and Imogen. But he was after them 3, he was the next person that knew.
Yes.
And here is my explanation to back up that claim. I know.
Because had it been months,
Had
had it been weeks,
I know.
I think he got turned. I think Brennan got turned when Nolan, how do you say that?
Nolan, yeah.
No. Tyrion's previous writer. I think
Mhm.
he channeled to save Brennan's life.
So you think he is Venom?
Yes.
I think you might be right about him.
That's a pretty popular theory.
I think when he was trying to save, I think him and Brennan were lovers. I think when he was trying to save Brennan, he turned to get enough energy to do it. And in turning while saving him, it turned Brennan.
Interesting. To like save his life.
And does that also explain the fact that when Sloane siphoned from Dane into Brennan, why he didn't have the siphon marks on him?
Okay, so that is another thing. Like, where did those marks actually come from on Brennan? Because I think he's lying.
Yes, because he has a mark on his palm.
Yes.
But when Sloane siphoned it, he didn't have a mark on him.
So I guess I missed this. That's a real thing. When a siphon uses their power on someone, whoever they're taking their power from, it leaves a mark.
I think whoever they give their power.
That is what Brennan has said.
Yes.
But I think it's a lie.
Okay, you don't think siphons have anything to do with the mark?
No. But what was wrong with Dane? Because someone left like a handprint on him. Right.
Remember when Jack
I couldn't remember where
the wardstone.
I couldn't remember where that came from, and so that part confused me. And I was like, "Wait a second."
So he has like no color on like his wrist or whatever. But he fought through it and still powered the wardstone.
Okay.
Okay. Here's my last guess. So Xaden sees the Melvin or the general, whatever you want to call him, of the Venom, and he says that he can't kill him.
Melvin. Is that what you said, Melvin?
I said Maven.
No, you said Melvin. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. I just love the name Melvin, and that was really funny to me.
But he says he can't kill him, and I think it's because he recognizes him, and he says he can't kill him because he already tried once.
Well,
I think it could be
that was the one who turned him, or it's his sage.
It's not the sage.
Okay.
It's the more powerful one.
I think I read that one wrong. Oh, the general.
The general.
You just said that. I just wasn't following for some reason.
And I think it's because he says, "I've already tried to kill you once."
After he turned and he thought he killed him by did you shoved him off the cliff?
No, because that was the sage.
That was the sage. But I thought he was a general.
No.
He wasn't?
No. They're two different people.
They were? Okay, so let's go back. So in book 2, when he turns, and the guy talks him into turning, basically, and Sigale freaks out because she doesn't want him to. And then he thinks he killed the person, and he keeps looking for him because he shoved him off the cliff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Which didn't kill him. We know he comes back.
I thought he said that he was the general or a general.
No, no. I don't think so.
You lost me 5
because I think is it Brent?
This whole thing confuses me.
What's the villain's name that they talk about?
Oh,
Berwyn.
Yes.
Berwyn is the general. The Melvin.
I'm sorry.
Because Berwyn is the one that Pancheck is saying, I'm the only one that has access to your son. And
he's the one that
he says, I have another one.
Whatever.
Theophany.
Was trying to impress by bringing him Violet. It wasn't the sage, because she laughs at Violet's face when Violet thinks it's the sage.
Okay, so Theophany and what's this guy's name again? Berwyn. Is he so he's not the one that she is referring to when she tells Violet, I'd be a better trainer for you than the other one.
No, that's the sage.
I thought that was Berwyn.
I did too.
I thought Theophany and Berwyn were fighting each other for Violet.
That's what I thought too. But anyways.
I could be wrong. Don't hold me to it. But I mean,
it makes sense that Theophany would report to Berwyn. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that it's not the sage that he's referring to when he says that he can't kill him because he's already tried. I think it's Berwyn.
Really?
And I think he recognizes him when he sees him. And I think
who's his son?
I think it's...
I'm stressed out about that.
Holden. and
Arik's brother.
yes, I can't form words anymore.
Oh
Arik's
my
brother,
gosh. How did I know
because
that?
he did. He thought he
He-
killed them during threshing.
Yes.
I think that's who it is. But I do also think that Terran's previous writer is a Venom because
Yeah.
Terran won't speak of him, and
Yes. And
he
he's still
hates
alive.
Zayden
Yes. Yes.
after he turned.
Okay.
That is, I'm gonna go off my soapbox now.
Okay.
I'm tired to
Okay.
rearrange my thoughts.
You answer now.
Okay.
We don't want to deep dive too much, so.
My answer, Bodhi. Here's why. I think them thinking initially that he was the brother the Theophany was referring to was foreshadowing for him being Venom. He also dramatically refutes the claim to the title of Tyrandor. And why else would Xaden marry Violet, then have Imogen erase her memories? Because throughout the whole book, Xaden is adamant that Bodhi will take over.
If something happens.
Exactly. So he sees Bodhi on the field with Berwyn, and he says, oh crap, now we have to figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
So he nabs the 5, apparently, the other 4 that are important. They go and they get married. Imogen erases her memory. I tossed up the idea of Garrick for a little bit, but I think it's Xaden because
You mean
I think it's Bodhi because Xaden looks at him and says, you've watched me fight this for months. So I think it had to be someone that was in the inner circle and knew the longest time. But my problem with this is that why would it be Bodhi or Garrick? Because Jack's evil. Like, Jack wanted more power, right? So it makes sense why Jack channeled. It makes sense why Xaden channeled, because he did it for love. He did it for Violet. But why would Garrick or Bodhi? Other than the fact that Bodhi might seem a little sus when he's telling Violet, oh, girl, I don't got a second signet. Neither does Xaden. Xaden's Venom. Now I'm going to be Venom. Just throwing it out there. And also, Rebecca said in an interview to look for who isn't at the end of the book and who feels like they weren't given enough or didn't get enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I just come back to this whole, like, maybe it is Bodhi because he knows that Imogen has a second signet probably, and he knows that Garrick has a second signet, and maybe he found out that Xaden has a second signet, and now maybe he's mad that Xaden has 2 signets and is a Venom.
So
And has Tyrandor.
I just don't see it.
I have a couple guesses.
Those are good points, but I just don't believe in it.
So Bodhi clearly feels he has more to offer. He wants to do more. He wants more responsibility and input on things. That's why Xaden married Violet, because him and Bodhi are Venom. They need someone to stay behind and protect their home while they look for a cure and try to build an army, since they're the only heirs.
See,
I almost think the reason why I can't get behind it is because it makes too. It's
I know,
too in your
I know.
face.
But also, where the heck is Garrick? I do feel like he is probably going with them because he's loyal to them, though. So
I think
don't.
it's with Xaden to help him. Absolutely.
I honestly do not think that it's Garrick that is
And
Venom. I think he's just with them.
And I think Garrick has to be the ones with them because next to Xaden, he is their strongest asset. And the fact that if something happens to Xaden, he can distance walk with other people. Like,
yes,
he can get him
and
somewhere.
he was the one that said, Violet, you need to sleep somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I can't control him all the time.
No.
I can't help him when I'm not with him.
I can help him when he's awake and when I'm with him, but I can't do it in bed at night.
I think he's there to protect Bodhi and Xaden. I do think that. Okay. So, I also think Xaden stole the dragon eggs because he's going to barter with Dune to acquire the army. And maybe Sigale tore apart the mating bond with Taryn so she could help him.
But we don't know that she unmated.
Right, but she's gone.
You assume she's gone.
Mated dragons can only be away from each other for so long.
But
so
can
I
they?
think that's true. It's never been tested, technically. But I do think she tore apart the bond so that she wouldn't have to worry about it while she's gone. Okay? And then, I mean, no. But because, like,
It makes sense because then because she can't keep secrets from him right now.
Right. I do think Brennan is shady. I don't know that I think he's Venom, but I do think he's lying, keeping things for himself, maybe for his own gain. And I do think that the Nolan is. Okay.
And I think their dad knew something because he specifically says that Mira is the only person that can be trusted.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, absolutely, Mira is the only person that can be trusted.
I assumed that was because he thought Brennan was dead. Or maybe Brennan was like too old when she started at Vescaya. But I don't know. Anyway. Okay.
Just a thought.
Yeah. I don't like this guess. Maybe Riddick. The only reason I think this is because of what Rebecca said.
But he's at the end of the book.
Yeah, he is. He's there.
Yes, but like I said, like this isn't a hard theory. This is just like could be. You know what I mean? Because he wants so badly to be in the squad. He has a lot of FOMO when he's not involved, and he could be involved in why Taryn got hurt. Because I forget why, but the brown dragons had some significance in trying to kill Taryn. So that makes me nervous, but we'll see. I would also love for Liam to come back as a Venom. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love to see it.
I read somewhere where they thought that Liam's second signet would be that he can astral project from, like, death. And that's why Violet was able to see him.
Is that one of the ones you shared with us? And they were like, just bear with me. I didn't bear with them. It stressed me out.
I mean, I don't think that's a thing, but that would be really cool.
I just would love him to come back no matter what.
He's like, yo, Malik, I'm just going to piece out of here in my brain body for a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that video that I sent of Violet's mom being a Venom? In that story, she told her dad when she was a kid.
That was, yeah. I mean, it was interesting, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think either way she'd be dead because she's siphoned to death.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Right.
No, like you're not going to survive that whether you're a Venom or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make me wonder if she was one.
Yeah. Maybe. But she wasn't as powerful as the other storm wielder that is a Venom, so she kept herself away from the fighting because she knew she couldn't beat her.
Ever since we found out there's Venom among us, we have been thinking everyone's a Venom. We are turning on our brethren.
Yep.
We would not survive.
I don't think she is, but anyway.
I don't think she would have died.
Also, do we think...
Bless you.
Do you guys think one of the first years are going to develop the storm signet now that all of them are dead?
Yes.
And could that be one of the strongest signets?
I mean, it's pretty
but
strong.
It's pretty similar to lightning, though, in a way, too.
And they keep saying, we've only seen part of Violet's power.
80%.
What if she is the storm wielder and she doesn't know it yet? Because lightning's so much easier. She's already got the thunder in the clouds.
Thunder. You're the thunder.
I'm not the only one that thought about that.
All right. Where do you see book 4 going?
You know, I don't even want to know. And I don't even want to talk about it. Because after all of this, my noggin is fried.
I know, I can't even form words anymore.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
And again, I don't like to think about what's going to happen. In the
like,
future,
I just, very, like, arching overview. Andarna's going to have some pivotal information from the Earids, whether it's, like, them her getting them to fight or them knowing how to fix the Venom situation. Violet's going to run Tyrion door, so she's going to have to be this big bad leader in charge. Ark's going to help her. He's going to be king, period. That's all I've got.
I don't think Arik will become king until the very last book.
Yeah, I can see that.
I agree with you, but I think he's going to help Violet in her role. Like,
yeah,
he's going to be, what is it called when you have, like, your little helper? Like, kings and queens have their little helper. Not a court jester.
Riddick is the court jester.
But he's going to, advisor. He's going to be her advisor.
Oh, yes.
Advisor to the throne of
Yep.
Tyrion.
I think Xaden is going to build an army to help Violet and bring it back to her. That's why I think he took the eggs. And that's the only thing I really foresee. I don't know. I know they won't find a cure until the end of the series. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
They'll hold on as long as they can to Satan being evil. I mean, he's not evil, but anyway. If they end up finding one, I do think it'll be the end of the series. I am worried that Violet will turn Venom, but I'm dying to know about the Storm Wielder because where'd she get that at? Where'd it come from? Where'd she come from? What was she before? So I hope we get more of a backstory.
Yeah, I would like to know where the venom came from.
Yes.
And I can't, maybe this isn't my answer. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, let me just start beginning. I have no idea where the story's going to go. But I think some main points, and I'm going to just say the next 2 books because we don't know what's going to happen in book 4 compared to book 5. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll say by the end of the series, I think Violet's compass that she got on the Luck Island, I can't remember what it was
That's
called.
broken.
Yeah, I think it'll lead to a cure. I think that's how they find the cure.
You're so insightful. I'm just not.
I think the Isle and Goddess of Love, which they never got to because they turned around.
Yeah, because they found the earrings.
I think it'll be pivotal.
You're my favorite.
Pivotable.
It could pivot the whole story.
It really could.
Yeah.
I think there are going to be evil Venom and not evil Venom.
Well, I don't think Zayden is evil.
Yes, I think it'll depend. I think the Venom will depend on why they turned.
Yeah, because
if they turned for love, I think their
Yes.
souls will be intact. If they didn't, I think their souls will shatter. I think because they talk about how the earth finds balance to all magic. Well, if that's the case, and the earth can sense all of this, then this earth would have sensed when they were channeling and why. So I think only the Venom that turned for greed or power,
Jack Barlow.
only they have shattered souls, and I think they will not be able to be saved. But I think the ones that turned for purpose, for love, whatever, sacrifice, I think they'll be able to be saved.
I love that.
I agree with that.
And I'm done. That's my feel, and I'm sticking to it.
Very good.
Okay. Any favorite quotes?
I got a couple. I don't have as many as Sheila. Okay, so first of all, I read the actual book. So my paperback or hardcover, my hardcover book page is 23. It's the first one. And it says,
I feel like we're in church and reading hymn.
I know.
Please turn to page 23.
Okay, so Violet says, "Do you still love me?" And he says, "I could reach the rank of Maven, lead armies of dark wielders against everyone we care for, and watch every vein in my body turn red as I channel all the power on the continent, and I would still love you. What I did doesn't change that. I'm not sure anything can."
That was my first one, too.
Oh, I looked and I didn't see. Oh, but yours is different
Yeah.
page number.
I literally had that marked. I didn't put it in here because I figured someone would.
Yes.
It's fantastic. I love
Another
it.
one. This isn't really a quote. It's just a part I really liked. When Andorna is like screaming at Violet, and she says, "Dane isn't the strongest." And finally, she's like, "Oh my gosh, I get it. I'm the strongest."
Says it like 3 times. She's like, Dane isn't the strongest.
Yeah.
Dane isn't the strongest. And Violet just keeps ignoring her. And
Yes.
she's like,
Dane is not the strongest. Yep. And I finally get the point. I am. I love that. And then the other one is okay. "I made myself a promise that I would do anything to save you, to cure you." And then he cuts her off or whatever. And she says, "We live by the codex." And he says, "I live by you. When have I ever given about the codex or the code of conduct? I am yours and you are mine. And there's no law or rule in this world or the next that will change that." I love that.
Yep. All right. My first one is kind of it's not really a quote, it's a scene. But they're in the sparring arena. And Garrick asks, "Are you ready to join in second squad?" And he looks at Imogen, and she says, "You don't want anything to do with this." And he says, and she lifts her hands, "You don't want anything to do with this." And he says, "Why don't you put them on me and we'll see?" And Riddick goes, "Oh gods, will you stop flirting and beep already?"
I know. Like this, it's the whole time we're like just waiting for them to get together.
Come on.
And every head slowly turns to Riddick. And he says,
Did I say that out loud?
I said that out loud.
I love that part.
And Violet's like, yeah, you did. And she says, "Garrick's gonna blow you off the mat next." He goes, "Now that I might enjoy, depending on the method he chooses." And then he goes, "I'm gonna stop talking now."
That was so funny.
And Kat goes, "You might want to keep inside voices inside." I loved that.
That's so funny.
I lost my thing. My next one is this is I don't remember who says it. I don't know. Someone after she forms the squad, and your one chance to form your own squad, and you choose your ex, your current lover, the quadrant's resident smartass, two people who have tried to kill you in the past year, one over said current lover, and whatever Dane is. Those are your choices for the most important mission a writer has ever done. And Taryn chimes in, "I'm glad someone said it."
That's amazing.
That was a good one too.
This one isn't a quote, but I love when they're at the, aisle where they're given the gifts, and he slaps Stain, and he just I laughed so hard, and he has to say thank you.
If I was on the squad, I wouldn't have kept it together.
No, would have lost it 1,000%.
Oh.
And my last one is, it starts with Violet to Xaden, I think, and it says, "The pain, the mess, give it all to me. I'll hold it. I know it sounds ludicrous, but I'll find a way. I will hold everything for you, everything you don't want to feel, because I love every part of you." And Xaden looks at her and says, "You already hold my soul, and now you want my pain? Getting greedy, Violence."
Oh, I love that bit. Also, every time I see the word ludicrous, I think of ludicrous.
Luda.
I had 10,000 quotes that I could have picked. I narrowed it down to 1, 2, 6, 8.
Okay.
They're short.
Pick
They're
a
short.
couple.
They're short. Page 7, please. "Your wings won't hold the weight of this ice," Andarna blatantly mocks him. "And yet, yours miraculously carry the burden of your ego." "Go find a sheep and let the adults work," says Taryn. I love it so much. There was some backstory to that, obviously, that you didn't have to read the book to get, but I don't know. I'm being timed here, so I can't read the whole page for you. Apologies. Even though I know you all love my reading voice. Page 183. You shaking your head at me?
No, I would never.
Sorry, my hands aren't working.
I can't talk, you can't turn a page. We're a great bunch.
And then, okay, this is another Andarna and Tyrion one. And they get to one of the aisles, and she's hungry, as she always is. And Violet says, "Don't let her eat anything or anyone she isn't supposed to." And Andarna says, "You're such a centenarian. Perhaps my kind will not be such killjoys. Perhaps they will feast as they see fit. Perhaps they will..." Oh, what's that? And Tyrion says, "A mammoth red-horned tortoise, and absolutely not. The shell will embed between your teeth, and I will not carry you and a festering tortoise shell. Get back here!" It's just another one of their, daddy-child moments that I really enjoyed. I don't even know which one's my favorite. I can skip to them. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I thought it was Amber.
Another of my favorites. I'll just talk about this one. It was when Atrum blasts Riddick with all that water. It just soaks him.
And
Riddick's like, don't get the boots, don't get the boots.
I know, and she does, or he does.
It was
and
just funny.
I loved that part. That was like one of my favorite parts.
It was
Is when
just-
like we actually see them interacting.
Yeah, it was good. This is another one of my favorites, page 219. Xaden and Violet are having a very good time. And as always happens to Xaden and Violet when they have a good time,
They get
the
interacted.
entire quest squad is outside of their door.
Yeah.
And, Riddick's knocking. And he looks over Xaden's shoulder. And Xaden says, yes, the table is broken. Now what do you need? And Riddick says, you two totally broke it, didn't you? Like that armoire no one was supposed to know or notice getting hauled out of her room during first year? And then Mira goes, the what? And I just thought that was really funny.
Mhm.
That literally everybody knows about their sex life, even if they don't want them to know about their
Yep.
sex
Well,
life.
lightning strikes every time they get down to business, so
Literally.
can't really hide that.
The scene that I probably loved most with Andarna was when she has that panther in her mouth. She's like, I'm about to drool. That was really funny. And then I thought I had a loved one that I really wanted to say really quick, but I don't remember. You'd think as many little tabberoomies as I have in here that I'd be able to find it, but it was like one of the things Xaden said to
Your tabs give me anxiety.
today. I'm sorry.
They're like all sorts of ways.
Oh, broccoli. We've only mentioned broccoli once.
Well,
'Cause
because
she's
he's only
only-
mentioned
yeah.
twice in the book.
I loved that. That was funny.
I love the reels though that have broccoli and it's a cat like this, and it
Oh.
says broccoli's first dragon ride.
We didn't talk about the scene with Sawyer asking Violet to help.
Oh, I loved that.
That was
Like,
one of mine. It starts on page 394.
Yeah.
And it's I highlighted the whole thing. I just loved it. And he just says Slicey grumbles low in his chest, and I stand there helplessly knowing that there's nothing I can do. And he's talking to Sawyer, and Sawyer says, because it's not the same. You're the one who took a risk on me, and I won't ask you to dishonor. And then Violet has this conversation with Taryn, and he's like, obviously he's sassy Taryn about it, but she asks him, she's like, do you feel dishonored when you have to dip your shoulder for me to get off or to get on? And of course he's like, I'm the second largest dragon on the continent and a revered warrior. My tales are legendary, my mate unparalleled, my feats unmatched. And she's like, that doesn't answer my question. And he goes, it would take a great deal more than a change of posture to dishonor me. And
I know.
I know he's a sassy old man.
Because he did pick
But
her. Like,
He did. And I really loved it, and I thought it was sweet.
because how honorable for her to save Andarno's life.
Yeah. And okay, this is my last one, I promise. And it's my favorite one. And it's dirty. And Xaden says, my control when it comes to you is an illusion. You are the temple where I worship. I live for the clench of your thighs, your breathy little cries, the feel of you coming around my feet, and above all else, the sound of my favorite 3 words from this mouth. Keeping my hands off you has been the feat of my life, and you have the power to shred my discipline with a single beeping touch. Yes, it's dirty, but it's just
Yeah.
he loves her that much.
I know.
What it must feel like to be wanted that much.
I know.
Happy freaking Valentine's Day. Beth at least got dinner.
I did, but my child came.
And ate ice cream with his hands.
No, it was the whole time. So the whole time it was, shh, be quiet. Shh, be quiet. Get back in the chair, Hayden. Shh, be quiet. Stop yelling.
There's a song about that too.
Oh my gosh. Well, because I didn't want to bother the people around us. I'm like, shh. But then other people brought their kids, and I was like, okay,
It's just
this
the
is
life of a
parenthood.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Oh, it's me. Overall rating and review. But then I'm first. I
can
answer
answer,
first.
I told you this outline got a little jacked up when I deleted
that's okay.
questions.
Okay. 10 stars. Because no one writes a book like Rebecca Yaros. Even if I still have questions.
I said 5 stars, but I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I put
I just noticed that.
5 stars. 1 again, Rebecca. I think it was supposed to be 5 stars, 1 chili. You did it again, Rebecca, but I don't know what happened in translation.
I had a stroke already.
When I just read that, I read it as 5 stars once again, Rebecca.
5 stars, 1 again, Rebecca. Oh, I give up.
What's your favorite thing you've read since the last podcast?
Girl, Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. It's going to be one of my top 5 books of the year. I freaking love it.
I'm almost done listening to it, and I like it, but it's not my favorite. I think if I read it, I would have liked it more, even though I do love the voice.
Oh, no. I re-listened to Priest by Sierra Simone because of this man's voice.
Oh, so it's the same.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't listened to that or read it or whatever, but I haven't listened or read Lights Out. Caraval and Legendary by Stephanie Garber.
I've read those. I love them. I love a book that makes you like think.
Yes.
Like you're entertained, but you're also like,
And it's difficult because I've been listening to them. So I have had to like rewind a lot because I'm like, oh crap, I missed something. Like,
Yeah,
where did this come from?
They would be hard to listen to.
So, and I'm waiting for the 3rd book and then the little novella.
Yeah, I haven't read the novella, but I have the 3.
Okay.
I think my problem is I don't want to think when I read. And that's what's so hard
That's
with
true.
these books.
And it's harder when you listen to it.
I read for vibes.
Yeah.
I read for love.
Yeah.
I read for cowboys and horses.
Like, I don't want to read.
It depends on, because I change what I read so often.
Yeah, but I don't want to read a classic. I don't want to read something off of Oprah's book club.
She's
Because
always done me dirty.
they
Reese's,
are
too.
always
Where the crawdads freaking sing, shoot me.
I love that book.
How many times you gotta tell me that you're eating freaking grits?
Oh my
Nobody.
God.
She was poor and she had no shoes and she lived in a dirty home. It's all she had.
Nobody gives a damn.
Okay,
I
but
love
I'm
that
pretty
book.
sure our very first podcast, you also said these same things about that same book.
She
So
just can't get grits out of her
let's
head.
move on. But First Light Wins was on Reese's book list,
Yeah, and it was good.
and it was very
Okay, I won't
good.
say all of her books suck, but that
Okay.
one really turned me off.
It's better than
Anyway.
the Oprah list.
I've never read
Oh
anything
yeah,
off the Oprah list.
because hers are all the award-winning books.
All the Colors of the Dark by Chris
Hated
Whitcomb or whatever it was.
hated it. Someone rated it as one of their top thrillers of last year.
Did they only read 2?
Nothing
No, it
happened.
was. There were 10 of them. Anyway, another one I am almost finished with is The Stars Are Dying by Chloe Penoranda.
I haven't started that yet.
It's good.
Never read it.
Oh, I just pre-ordered the 3rd book in the trilogy today. So
If you want the books and you want special editions and you don't want to pay out the wahoo for them, they've had them all on like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and the covers are freaking gorgeous.
yes, and you take the dust cover off, and there's another cover, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Amazon does me dirty sometimes, and I get like books in bad shape. Both of those books that I've gotten so far were perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm real disappointed about my last ApolloCon order.
I'll send it back and buy another one, or like ask for a replacement.
I mean, I'm not that disappointed. That seems like a lot of work.
I send books back to Amazon all the time.
Yeah, I'm about to send 2 back because of what I got.
I honestly have
I don't ever return anything.
From Amazon.
I
like,
know,
I
but-
gave up. I wait till Barnes & Noble does their 25% off pre-order sale and I buy them.
Well, I have gotten lucky with Chloe's books so far. So hopefully book 3.
Is she at ApolloCon?
Yes.
I think I have that in my to be bought cart.
Yeah.
Because I can't buy them all at once. Or
Right.
will murder me. But I'm like 12 books deep into my ApolloCon buy, so
Wow,
that's pretty
Amber.
impressive for how quickly I caught up. Because I had 0 at the beginning of this.
That's true. I did.
12 is a very good number.
We're gonna have to bring.
We're going to have to rent a 15-passenger
No, we're not. We are gonna.
No, you guys are gonna. They can only sign 3 books.
at a time.
You guys have problems.
We're gonna have to buy. Each of us are gonna have to buy a tote,
You can tell I'm the one
To
with
put-
3 children.
our books in, plus bring our cart filled with books.
No. If we get the bigger totes, we won't need to fill our carts with books.
So we just need the bigger totes.
And we're all collectively, listen here, one curling iron.
Yes, we do
one
need to
straightener,
talk about that.
And one
We're
hair blow
sharing.
dryer. We're
We're
sharing.
sharing.
We gotta
Fine.
save space in these bags because I have 89 books.
That sounds like a you problem because I don't have that many.
Okay,
I
but
will sit on them like a booster seat if I have to.
it's fine.
If my curling iron fits in my bag, why can't I just put it in my bag?
Because you need a smaller bag.
She's also like,
You're like an efficiency packer, aren't
yes, yes.
you? Okay, Beth and I need 4 totes, 3 suitcases,
Where
our
did
beds.
you guys stress
where
me
did
with
we
freak
go?
out,
And you
man.
took your child's suitcase. Where was that?
Probably a full weekend trip because I can get by.
know. I just don't remember where we went, and I was
Is that
like,
when we went to see the Jonas Brothers?
or maybe it was Sheelan that took her.
Oh, when we went to Emily Rath, I had Luca's dinosaur suitcase.
Oh, that was it. That was it. But it was only one night.
Yeah, and it was still bursting.
Don't get me wrong, like, I pack a lot. I like to have options in clothing,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
everything else.
Okay, you should probably answer this question because you haven't yet.
Book. I just read Every Moment with You by J.E. Parker, and it was a rec from my husband because he saw it and it had a firefighter on the cover.
Obviously.
Always a win.
But in the end, honestly, it kind of like hits you in the feels. Like, it's not a book that I expected to read and be like, holy Jesus, put this book down. Like, take the wheel. Like, because so
I gotta sing again.
So, like, it's these people, it's like the main male character, his dad beats him as a kid, and he lives next door to the main female character, and they fall in love really young.
Okay, well, I did not expect this to be what happened.
Yeah. And so, and then his dad that beats him gets, like, into the mafia when he's in high school, or, like, he has debts to the mafia in high school, so he has to, like, break his girlfriend's fiance at the time's heart because they're watching her, and he wants to protect her.
Where does the fireman suit come into play?
I mean, he's just a firefighter, but it's mentioned like a few times. It was not a big main theme of this book at all.
So the book was like a trap, really.
Kind of, yes. And then, so he like breaks her heart. Well, come to find out, she's pregnant when he breaks her heart.
Oh
And
my goodness.
And he never finds out until like later when they reconnect. And like she comes to their graduation, and when she's leaving, she gets ice cream because that was like their thing when they were kids. And she gets an infection from the ice cream because it had like the Legionnaire or whatever in the ice cream, and it kills their baby.
Oh my god.
So like, yeah, so that happens, and then they reconnect because she gets nearly beat to death because she opens like a women's shelter. She gets nearly beat to death by one of the women's husbands. So they reconnect because he responds to the scene.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just I went in thinking it was going to be a spicy firefighter book, and that's not what I got.
Well,
but it was
I'm not
good.
reading that because there's 2 things I won't stand for in this life.
It was very, very good.
Ice cream and the accidental pregnancy trope.
I don't hate the
Two things I
accidental
won't stand
pregnancy trope. It's not my favorite.
I hate it.
I wouldn't even call it an accidental pregnancy trope, though. It was
Because
like
they were engaged.
a secret
Yeah.
pregnancy
Either
trope.
way, I feel like about that the way Amber feels about grits and where the crawdads sing.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Girls Gone Book Clubbin', where we covered all things and more of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Now that our hearts are completely and utterly destroyed, we thought it was best to explore a happy ending romance next time. We'll be back in 2 weeks to discuss All the Missing Pieces by Catherine
Cowles. Stop.
It's a weird last name.
In the meantime, please don't forget to subscribe. I'm done. Good night. Subscribe, follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. That's the other one.
And like us.
We're also on
like us.
YouTube now.
Oh yeah.
Do all the
We
things.
did a video.
I apologize. My brain is malfunctioning.
It also doesn't help that I missed half the words for you in that.
I know, I was like,
paragraph.
did Amber write that?
Oh,
But then I was like,
See,
no,
it's not
I don't
even
think
my
so.
fault.
I
It's
star with a
not-
game, Rebecca.
Also, tomorrow you have to be up at 5 a.m. So
and
True.
all of my kids. Yeah.
Hey, this is the earliest we've ever got done recording.
I'm so proud of us.
Stay tuned.
Bye.